Karl Marx was a German philosopher most known for his contributions to the creation of modern communism. Marx was born on the 5th of May, 1818, in the town of Trier, Prussia, which is in modern-day Germany. His family was of the wealthy middle class. His father was a lawyer. Marx was born Jewish, but his family converted to Lutheranism. When he was a teenager, he became very rebellious and became an atheist.
Karl, what are you drinking?
Vodka.
Vodka? It's too early in the morning. Come on, let's go. It's time to go to school.
I do not want to go to school. It is not for me.
Why are you so rebellious all of a sudden,
Because,
son?
Father, religion is the opiate of masses.
He studied at the University of Bonn. Marx was a troublemaking student, to say the least. He was a heavy drinker and was arrested for being drunk in public.
Have a little too much to drink tonight, sir? Pause.
Marx also participated in a duel while he was at university, but he was not arrested for it.
Hey,
Watch where you're going, huh?
You want to mess with me?
Bring it! I'm slain!
Mother Russia!
After Bonn University, Marx continued to study philosophy at the University of Berlin. He received his doctorate in philosophy from the University of Jena. He worked on the philosophy of atheism while he was at Jena. While he was also at Jena, he met a girl by the name of Jenny von Westphalen, whom he later married.
After university, Marx moved to Paris where he became a co-editor of a radical leftist newspaper called the German-French Annals. Marx worked on a journal there with a man named Arnold Rouge. After the journal fell through, he met a contributor who was named Frederick Engels. Both men would form a lifelong friendship and collaborate with one another on many of their works.
Marx was deported from France and moved to Brussels, Belgium, on condition that he did not write about contemporary politics. In Brussels, he wrote for another radical newspaper. The paper that he wrote would later become the Communist League. Marx also met a man by the name of Moses Hess, who introduced him to socialism. He also started to write a book called The German Ideology. Engels would later finish the book after Marx passed away.
Marx was once again deported and moved back to Germany. He lived in Cologne and transported the Communist League headquarters there. He also began associating with German socialist groups. Marx used money from his father's inheritance to create a newspaper. Although members of the Communist League wrote for the paper, Marx ran it like a dictator. Marx ran into trouble with the law because his paper was forced to leave the country.
Marx returned to Paris, but was soon forced to leave after only 3 months. He sought refuge in London, England. By this time, Marx was expecting his 4th child. He would have a total of 6 children, with only 3 surviving. Marx was denied English citizenship, but he decided to stay anyways. Marx published perhaps his greatest work, the Das Kapital, while he was in London. The Das Kapital was an 800-page manuscript critiquing and criticizing the capitalist movement.
Ah! These people know nothing. My words will be written in textbooks. My words will be laws.
Marx remained in London with Engels and his family until his death on March 18, 1883, 2 years after his wife had died. When he died, he was still working on volumes 2 and 3 of the Das Kapital. There were between 9 and 11 mourners at his funeral. Originally, he had a blank tombstone, but that was replaced by a giant monument from the Communist League. In 1970, there was an unsuccessful attempt to destroy Marx's grave with a homemade bomb.
Marx's greatest legacy is the creation of the movement known as Marxism. Marxism was also developed by Engels. It was used to form the basis for the theory and practice of communism.
Marxism declares God does not, cannot, and must not exist. However, it is founded on an explanation of the origin of the universe and humankind's final destiny.
Based on the idea that history is constantly evolving towards a certain direction and that the proletariat worker class is the redemptive force of humanity.
Marx believed that he had found the secret to perfecting the human condition because he himself was a perfectionist. Marxism's final prediction is that the world will transcend consumerism when the entire world becomes communist.
Marx believed that laws are the product of class oppression, and laws would have to disappear with the advent of communism. He dreamt of a lawless society, but that has led to gross inequality and class-oriented, genocidal politics.
In order for Marxism to take root, all human rights need to be denied. Marxist regimes have had evidence of mass genocide. Marx was a virulent anti-Semite, a very virulent anti-Semite, even though he himself was originally Jewish.
Marx believed that communism was the answer to creating the perfect society. Let's take a closer look at the pros and cons of communism and capitalism.
Communism pros. Marx's society made everyone equal, in theory. People were no different than anyone else. They had the same income, same homes, no rich or poor, no homelessness, in theory, little or no unemployment, government protection.
Communism cons. In reality, there was high poverty rates, low economic growth, censorship was very high, and high government intervention, little freedom, and strict laws.
Capitalism pros. Free choices in marketplace. Own your own life and your own choices. Highest quality products for the cheapest prices. Right to life, liberty, and property. Highest quality living standards. Can earn as much money as you want.
Capitalism cons. Massive income gap. Rich get richer while poor get poorer. Monopoly powers.
Karl Marx was a radical communist. His radical views were responsible for him being deported from every country he entered. Marx's theories formed the basis of modern-day communism. Many of his ideas were used to create communist societies, especially ones created from violent revolution. Most of Marx's theories of communism have indeed turned out to be false. His ideas of a perfect society, while in theory are sound, are in reality incorrect and non-functional. Although hated by many during his time, he inspired many followers of Marxism, and that following exists even today.